This edition of Mac Voices is sponsored by Smile, the makers of world-class software like PDF Pen for Mac, PDF Pen Pro for Mac, PDF Pen for iPhone and iPad, PDF Pen Scan Plus for iPhone and iPad, Text Expander for Mac, and Text Expander for iPhone and iPad. Learn more about all their great products at smilesoftware.com. And by Take Control Books, the answers you need now from leading experts. Learn more and download yours at takecontrolbooks.com. Welcome to Mac Voices. This is the Talk of the Mac community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, we're back once again to visit with the folks at Drobo. This is becoming kind of a regular thing, and I like it because, as you know, I love my Drobos. They're what I rely on to keep all my data. So in no particular order, I'm happy to welcome back Mihir Shah, the CEO of Drobo. Mihir, it's great to have you, as always.
Absolutely. Thanks for having us.
And I don't know that he keeps showing up, Mark Fuccio. He's becoming a real regular on the show.
Hello again, Chuck. I think selfie bombing, or there must be an analogy for podcasts.
I would agree. We're
going to have a Where's Mark book, like Where's Waldo, right? Coming out next year. So we'll see where Mark shows up.
The answer is almost going to always be on Mac Voices. That'll be a good default answer. So, Mihir, what has Drobo been up to since the last time we were here? I know at least one thing, but I'm not sure I know everything.
Well, let's see. Lots of updates, right? So I think it was about 6 months since we spoke last. I believe it was the launch of the 800 or
810i.
810i, right? So maybe 4 months. So we've been up to a tremendous amount of product development, enhancing our customer experience was one of the things that I had highlighted in the open CEO letter that I sent out. So, revenues are double over the same period last year when we took over the business. So, we're on a very good track, but now the hard work begins. How do we get back up to what we consider really growth? It's actually growing beyond kind of historical rates of what the business did quarterly. So, extremely happy with the financial performance of the business. But with any company this size, you're going to have your ups and downs, but it's fun.
Well, I know the last time we were here, we had a good discussion about kind of where Drobo was, some of the steps you were taking to get the company, I hesitate to say back to where it had been, but to where you thought it should be. And some of those steps have been taken, and it sounds like you're having success with that.
Absolutely, and we've always, at least in the last year, my focus has been on solving customer problems. There are so many things out there where storage is so complex, both in the cloud as well as on-premise. How can we help our customers do what's really important is preserve their time, making things simple. So as you saw, we launched Drobo Access, right? People were asking about remote access, and there's a lot of solutions that have remote access out there, but I believe ours by far is the easiest one to install and use. And so, we were extremely excited about that. And I think, when the first iteration of it, the setup was, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I kept on, telling my team, it's got to be less than 5 minutes. It's got to be less than 5 minutes. And I think we got to a point where, setting up a private cloud for an individual is under a 10-minute exercise. And so just to, think about that, it was almost 6 months worth of development work. It's extremely easy to use. You can be in Brazil now at the Olympics, taking pictures and uploading them back up to your 5N, right, remotely. And so we're really excited about that. And so that was really the first feature of the My Drobo app ecosystem, right? And we'll talk about some of the other things that are coming up down the pipe as well.
Mark was kind enough to join me on Mac Voices and do a live setup of the Drobo Share and Drobo Access. And I think we spent more time answering each other's questions than we had actually performing, what it was. So it looks like everything we had talked about and more, and brings the idea of a private cloud a lot closer to home than it has been previously.
Yep, absolutely. Our main focus on that was how can you have functionality of all these other kind of cloud storage providers, but the data resides with you, not in the cloud. And one of the things that was what you're going to see in the market was extremely interesting. I think I talked about this before. Is cloud companies are going to start to consolidate because it is becoming expensive to provide even the free level of storage that's out there. Microsoft recently started charging more for X amount of gigabytes of storage in the cloud. The Verizon Business Cloud, I don't know if you heard about this, Small Business Cloud, they actually shut down. They actually sent a letter to their customers saying, move all your data off. You have 6 weeks to move all your data off our cloud. So you're seeing this pendulum, right, where you don't want, and kind of in the spirit of Independence Day, right, you want to be independent from these cloud providers because they hold your data hostage to a certain degree. And so that's kind of the mantra that, we've been sharing with folks, especially in the, the traditional verticals that we've been very successful in, like the photographers and video professionals, is look, they want data with them. It's their intellectual property. They don't want it residing in any public shape or form of a cloud that's out there. And so that's where we're kind of headed to. Now, with that, we do recognize that a segment of the population does want cloud-based backup. And so we will be launching a service later this year. It's going to be a Drobo branded backup solution. So you could back up certain files in the cloud for those who desire kind of that seamless experience to have stuff on-prem as well as in the cloud, all under kind of the Drobo umbrella of simplicity and flexibility.
I'm going to be looking forward to that conversation going forward, and we don't want to obviously get into it too much here, simply because it's not ready yet. But the idea that will kind of make Drobo a full service solution, because right now I've got a private cloud here in my office with the current Drobos. Now you'll be able to take my stuff offsite as well.
Absolutely. The other product that we just launched was the 5D Turbo. I don't know if you were aware of that. Again, more and more when we talk to customers, they want a true and tested brand that provides a complete solution. And what we've done is we've included the SSD MSETA card as a part of the 5D Turbo. We've also included the peripherals required to operate that device, which historically we had it. And the performance is just kind of through the roof, and it's also has Thunderbolt 2 as well now. And so I think we've seen a 3x performance boost to folks that desire to edit 4K video, to attach 4K monitors, and those types of things, and also kind of the daisy chaining capability to expand your Drobo infrastructure.
It's an interesting split that you're trying to do here, because you're trying to keep things current on the desktop. In fact, it's a three-way split. You're trying to keep it current on the desktop with capacity and speed, and of course then the Drobo ease of use. But then you're also trying to address these cloud considerations, because as we all generate more video and photos and different things on our devices, we're looking more and more to get that sent back to our home base, or at least to somewhere that it can be accessible to our home base along with everywhere else.
Yeah, it's like you said, I don't know if you're familiar with a gentleman by the name of Gordon Moore. He wrote this book called Crossing the Chasm, right? And after you kind of cross this initial segment and the beachhead customers that you go after, when you go after the mainstream customers, the pragmatists, what do they want, right? They want the ability to have a tested solution that kind of works, right? And so our view here is, let's go ask the customers. And I'll tell you, since we spoke last, I've probably talked to 500 individual customers about what they like about Drobo, what they don't like about Drobo. And this is how we form our strategy, right? Historically, the company was, we're going to build it and they're going to come, right? My philosophy is, let's go figure out what the customers want, and then let's go build it. And the propensity for them to purchase is a lot higher, giving them what they want rather than actually having to go build something and being kind of a trailblazer at this point. So, I think we're doing the right things to address kind of the total solution that customers are asking for. The other thing I forgot to add on the 5DT, for the first time ever, we're including 3 years of Drobo Care as a part of the solution, right? So people wanted that ability to call support in the event of, something going wrong or them needing help to fix certain things. So again, a total solution. 3 years, worry-free. Your Drobo is going to be up and running. You got fast access. You got all the peripherals required. And I'm telling you, in the first week alone, we sold 120 units. So just think about that. Normally on the 5D, we sell roughly between 80 to 100 units a week. Just on the launch alone, in the first 2-3 days, we sold 120 units. So kind of tells me people are looking for that complete solution.
Do you think the primary driving factor was the Thunderbolt 2, or was it the warranty, or as you say, was it just the complete solution? Have you been able to narrow it down to one particular aspect of the changes?
Again, we haven't identified one particular one, but when I kind of take a step back, it's probably several. First and foremost, one of the things that Drobo customers historically have complained about is the access to Drobo care and support and those types of things. So what we did was we included 3 years of Drobo care as a part of this solution. The other thing is we have capability, folks have asked for the peripherals, right? Like, hey, you don't include a Thunderbolt cable in there, you don't include this, and you know what? We're going to throw that in there as a part of the complete solution. The other thing was the MSETA cache, right? Is people wanted performance and people wanted those types of things. And so we said, hey, we're going to throw it in there. And then kind of finally, the last thing was the Thunderbolt 2, right? We were a little bit lagging on getting Thunderbolt 2 out there, and we finally got Thunderbolt 2. And again, all those things combined have really enhanced not only the customer expectation and the wants, but the experience that they're going to have with the product, setting it up and using it.
So we've talked about some of the new hardware. What kind of new software do we have as of this moment, since we're here to talk about kind of what's new with Drobo?
So maybe one thing to talk about is, before we talk about some new apps, is we've updated all of the firmware so that the Drobo 5D T or the older 5D can now have a volume size of 64 terabytes. So we're just continuing to look towards the future and make sure that there's going to be a big enough volume out there that they can have one single large place to put all of their data. Some of the other things that we've done is we've expanded that support across all of the network-attached Drobo lines. So the 5N and Drobo A10N are native 64 terabyte size devices. And we've done an optimization on the performance of the Drobo 5N. So we've made it run about 75 to 100% faster, on the SMB protocol, which for a lot of your listeners is the direction Apple is going with more and more of its products. And it seems to be deprecating the AFP protocol and moving everything fully into SMB. So we're keeping ahead with that. So these are just little ongoing tweaks and optimizations just to continue to make the product better.
For the existing Drobo owners out there, I want to make sure we get that right, Mark. Those are firmware updates and software updates that can be applied to existing machines, so that if I just go through the process, I get those benefits.
Yes, so on the 5N, if you just go in with the Drobo dashboard and do a check for update, make sure I think it's 3.5 or 3.5.2 or something. If you get the latest update, you get a big performance boost from that. To get the 64 terabyte volume size, it's not an in-place update. Some of the things have changed from 32 to 64-bit file systems and the like. So in order to get that, you'll need to copy the data off, reformat the Drobo, and then copy it back on. But maybe a good way to do that is buy a new Drobo 5DT, format it, and then copy your data onto it. And you get a big performance upgrade as well.
Great. So you all just continue to push forward and solve problems and give me more capacity. I love it.
Mm-hmm. That's what we're here for, solving customer problems. And Chuck, I tell everybody is we are going to become an extremely customer-centric organization. And you gotta kind of do it through example. And again, like I said, 500 customer calls over the last 6 months, hearing and learning about what they like and what they don't like, tweeting back and forth with them, has really proven that, even at the CEO level, that I'm engaging with these customers. And I always ask customers, I say, go to our competitors. Like, we're a transparent, young, fast-growing company. Go try to talk to the CEO of some of our customers and see if you get a response. And that's how we're going to differentiate, Chuck. I mean, we are going to differentiate on service. You can go buy the cheapest product out there, but I guarantee you're moving forward, you're not going to have a better support experience than you will with Drobo.
That's got to be quite a challenge. Invariably, I think probably the majority of what you get when you open yourself to social media comments or social media discussions like you're describing, you probably get a lot more of the negative than the positive. I'm sure there are people that tweet you and say, "Oh, I love my Drobo," but more often than not, it's going to be somebody who's dissatisfied or is having a problem, and that's got to suck up a lot of your time.
It does, but I kind of look at it as product development, right? Is you're getting feedback. For us being transparent, you get the benefit of getting that feedback to roll into kind of the next level of products and features and upgrades that we're doing. And you're not going to get that unless you go put yourself out there, right? And trust me, as soon as I get something, I filter it right to Mark or to our CTO. Hey, this is the problem, and I'm sure this person isn't the only person having this problem, and we go address that issue, right? We're not going to be perfect, but at the end of the day, I think listening to our customers and using their feedback to kind of guide our product development and shape the quality of the product is the new way of doing business, right? And for right or wrong, I might be here next year or not. I think it's the right way to do it.
Today's edition of Mac Voices is sponsored by Smile, the makers of PDF Pen for Mac, PDF Pen Pro for Mac, PDF Pen for iPhone and iPad, PDF Pen Scan Plus for iPhone and iPad, Text Expander for Mac, and Text Expander for iPhone and iPad. Find out more about all their great products at smilesoftware.com. This time, I want to tell you about PDF Pen from Smile, because as much as I used it before, I'm finding more and more things that PDF Pen can help me with. For some reason, I've had the need to annotate and mark up documents more than before, and most of those documents come to me in PDF format. PDF Pen makes it easy to highlight items, add scribbles that other people might think of as drawings, and annotate to my heart's content. But now I can do much more. For example, with PDF Pen's new audio annotations, I can throw in my thoughts as an audio recording, which saves me lots of time. Sometimes it's necessary to do a full-fledged edit on a document, but it was scanned to me. No problem. PDF Pen's OCR capabilities turn it into a Word document that I can open in Word, or in Apple's Pages if I wish, and do more than just annotate it. Occasionally, I want to do the opposite, take information out. Of course, with legal documents, you don't want to modify the document itself. With PDF Pen's redacting feature, I can black out information without changing the contents. And I mean really black it out, not just draw over it. If you redact with PDF Pen, you can rest assured no one is going to see what was deleted. Those are just some of the PDF Pen features that I'm using more and more. Merging PDFs, adding stamps to my documents, syncing PDFs to my iPad. Those and many others are in their pitching too. I would love to have you find out just how much you can do with PDF Pen, and that's why I want you to go to smilesoftware.com right now and download a free demo. Fire it up and find out all the capabilities you've been missing. With PDF Pen and PDF Pen Pro, you won't have to say, "Gee, I wish I could," because you can. That's PDF Pen and PDF Pen Pro for Mac, iPhone, and iPad. All from Smile, the makers of world-class software at smilesoftware.com. Thanks to Smile for being the longest-running sponsor of Mac Voices. I think that Drobo is a fascinating company. I think that's one reason I always enjoy having you or any of your folks on, because you address individual needs. You address pro needs and prosumer needs, and then you have enterprise-level products. And there's nothing there. Well, there are very few things more important than security and storage, and having a safe place to put whatever it is that I create or whatever it is that I value. And so I love the fact that you're becoming more customer-centric. I love the fact that you are accessible. I know I've had great luck with your support staff the couple times I've had to call them. So that's why you're here, and that's why I hope you continue to be here.
I hope so too.
Great.
So we also want. Oh, I'm sorry, Mark. Go ahead.
Yeah, should we talk about sort of the next area we're going to help solve problems?
That's where I was going. Let's go for it.
Okay, so you have iPhone devices. So what do you do to back up your pictures? Are you having a good, nice solution, or is it a little bit catch as catch can, and you hope nothing bad happens?
I'll go somewhere between pleading the fifth and saying catch as catch can.
Okay. So we think you're a typical model of probably almost every other iPhone user out there. So what we have done is we've created a set of apps. One that loads on your iPhone or your iPad, and the other is an app that will run on either the Drobo 5N or the 810N. So working in conjunction, what these will allow you to do is take photos from your iPhone and upload them securely into the 5N or 810N device. We've done a number of things to really make it a very simple, automatic, set it and forget it type of process. Once you set it up, it is geofenced so that when you get within a radius, and I believe it's about 25 or 30 feet of where you first set up your configuration, when you get there, i.e. you get back into your home network near your Wi-Fi base station, the app will automatically detect where it is and then start to upload any new files that maybe you've taken. You're out and about, it's July 4th weekend, you come home, and it will upload the files automatically. So by doing this, people automatically know that they have their files stored in a safe and secure location. One of the other things that we've done is to ease the setup is when you first go to configure the system, you start the Drobo app, and then it will present you a little QR code. And then, taking your iPhone, you point it at the screen and scan it, and then it will automatically identify user account and password and all that other type of information. So you don't have to you type that into your iPhone. It's set up and it's paired automatically. And I set this up for the first time a couple of days ago. Setting up was very simple, and I had about a little less than 2,200 photos and videos that uploaded. It went over Wi-Fi, so it took maybe 20, 30 minutes. But it was simple and painless because as the iPhone has become more and more of a standalone device, I hardly ever plug it into Mac and do a backup, except for when there's an iOS update available. So that is allowing too much bad to happen, for a lot of the photos that I take, and similarly, everybody else out there, because we have the camera, and I see everybody taking pictures on a daily basis, even if it's just something simple like a receipt or menu at a restaurant to all sorts of fun and family events.
Okay, a couple questions. As far as the geofencing goes, do I have control over whether or not that actually happens when I get within proximity of my current system? And the reason I ask is, perfect example is this interview. I'm not sure that I want to walk into my house and have the 50 or 60 photos I took this morning passing through my network while I'm trying to talk to you gentlemen on Skype. So do I have control over that as far as a delay, or as far as maybe, send the photos between this time and this time?
Right now, you don't. Right now, when it gets within that range, it will automatically start to do an upload into your Drobo 5N or 810N.
Okay, and I admit I'm probably a very specific use case, but it's a question that I think needs to be asked. How about I'm going on vacation? I'm going to go out of town. I'm going to be taking photos for the next week at the beach or the mountains or wherever I am. Do I need to wait until I get back to that proximity and let the geofence kick in, or do I have options to use Wi-Fi wherever I am, or if the photos are important enough, even cellular?
That's a great question, because some of the feedback we're getting is already leading in that direction of don't limit this to having to be geofenced. Give me the capability that if I'm on a Wi-Fi network, that I can start to do an upgrade. So that is something that our engineering team has heard of, and we're not here to talk today about the future, but as Mihir has been saying, we've well heard what some of the market wants in this regard.
Yeah, I mean, again, you don't get it perfect out of the box, and you don't do all the features right out of the box, or you never get the box out the door. But yeah, I can see it's a tough choice you all face when you're trying to implement things like this, because people are constantly fighting the bandwidth caps that are inherent with cellular. They're fighting the security that comes with just gratuitously connecting to hotel Wi-Fi or even Starbucks Wi-Fi. Of course, we have a lot of great VPN solutions out there, but then again, you're chewing up data. So there are all these factors that you'll have to go through to figure out what feature sets to offer, which ones to turn on by default, which ones maybe to add in the future. I don't envy you those challenges.
It's an interesting balancing act, because it seems ultimately people want access to all of their data everywhere. And that's a great vision, but as you're saying, if you're on Wi-Fi, your native Wi-Fi at your home or office, if you're on a trusted Wi-Fi, like maybe at a Starbucks, or maybe not so trusted Wi-Fi at a Starbucks, or over cellular where there's a hard data cost, unfortunately, trade-offs need to be made, and people don't want to think it through. So what we're doing right now is we want to get experience using the app itself, and then we can start to figure out what are better ways that people can extend it to use it in different places.
So is this app available now, or is it coming out? How do I start taking advantage of it?
Okay, so as we're recording this, it's in advance of the launch. So right now it's available to beta testers. By the time this launches, it will be available in both the iOS store and also the Drobo App Store, so we can see it through the Drobo dashboard.
And the name of the app is?
DroboPix, DroboPix.
Perfect.
Really, I'll send you some artwork where you can see this and see some screenshots.
Okay. And of course, I'll have links in the show notes so people can jump right there and get it. It does require a Drobo to use, obviously, but that just means it's time to get a Drobo, folks.
Right.
Chuck, I can't begin to tell you how excited I am about this app personally, right? And the idea really bore through the frustration that I had about transferring my wife and my mother-in-law's pictures from their iPhone to the Drobo or onto their computer. And I don't know if it was the latest Apple operating system. They don't let you use image capture for some of the things. And then if you don't back it up or take them off, you get this little pop-up. Hey, you're reaching your limit. Now it's going to charge you extra $4 a month, kind of to the next limit, and another $10 for the next limit. And I was extremely focused when I talked to Rod, our CTO, about this. I'm like, Rod, this is a pain point. I know I'm not the only one out there that has it, and that's spending 4, 5, 6 hours on the weekend transferring these pictures from an iPhone onto a Drobo or onto any device that you want to go transfer them to. And then it shutting off due to, whatever reasons. And it was a real pain point. And so personally, I'm extremely excited about this, right? I can now, my wife can walk into the house and her pictures can automatically be streamed onto the Drobo through the Wi-Fi. Not only that, we went a step further. We've created a filing system for this. So you're going to have it categorized by year and by month that picture was taken onto your Drobo, right? So it necessitates having to say, hey, these pictures were taken between this time and this time. I'm going to create a special folder for this. They're automatically going to be organized for you by month and year.
Wow. So, in the file system, so I'm going to have a 2016 folder, then a July folder, then or 07 folder, and then a 04 folder for July 4th.
You'll have a the top level folder will be the DroboPix folder. Under that will be the year. Under each year will be the month. And in that given month, all the pictures that you took will be in that folder.
That's excellent. That's right? Excellent. You're right. You guys are eating your own dog food, no question about it. You're paying attention.
Yeah, and again, this kind of goes back to listening to the customer, listening to the problems, and getting away from the we're going to build it and they will come, right? It's a new market out there. It's a new way of doing business, and we think it's a successful way of doing business.
I'm anxious. I mean, I love this. Don't misunderstand. I'm just anxious to see what you come up with next, because there's so many good things here happening that you really are listening to the customers and what they want and implementing the technology to solve those problems.
Yeah.
Good job. Thank you, guys.
Talked a little bit about Mihir did it a little bit at the start of the call. So there's always something new and interesting that's going to be coming down the pike.
And Chuck, I believe the trends are in our favor. Right, like I said earlier, the cloud providers are starting to consolidate, and keeping up their infrastructure is becoming expensive, and they're going to have to go pass that cost along to the end user. So it's going to become more and more expensive for you and I to go put our stuff in the public cloud, which used to be free. Right, security is a major concern. Right, people want their stuff at home, but they want access to it or cloud-like features. Right, and so we're going to go after that, and then people want applications that are going to solve their problems, and that's what we want to go do is solve the customer problem. And if you go do that, I think, and if we go do that, we can be a very successful company and get our fair share of the market.
Well, I have said it before, and I'll say it again. I've never lost any data in a Drobo. I love the expandability. I love the security. That's why I'm so sold on them, and I guess that's why I'm afraid I get a little preachy at times, because I just think they solve so many problems that people don't realize they have until something goes wrong, and then they say, "Oh my God, where's my data? Where are my photos? Where's all this stuff?" And by then it's too late. So, Mihir, what's the best place? I know you're offering to tweet and chat with people. What are the best places for us to send them to engage with you or the Drobo crew?
Yes, I think we have a Twitter handle at Drobo. My Twitter handle is at Mihir, MIHIRSF. That's where people usually get a hold of me. People have gotten a hold of me through Facebook or LinkedIn. I mean, there's all these platforms out there, and again, I welcome that, right? And at least now, for the time being, I am spending a lot of my time trying to respond to most of those requests. And again, they're not many negative ones, as you had said before. But when a customer has an issue, I really believe in this kind of acronym LEAD, right? You gotta listen to the customer, you gotta empathize with the customer, you gotta really add value, and then you gotta go delight the customer, right? And that's how we're restructuring our whole support organization. Right, you look at our competitors, you can't even talk to anybody on the phone, right? It's all through email, or it's all through not even chat to a certain degree, and the response times are 3, 4, 5 days. And so, like I said, we're going to be a different type of company, and we are going to engage with our customers. We're going to make relevant products, and I believe that's going to lead us to be extremely successful going forward.
I hope you'll come back again when there's the next thing to talk about, or just to give us an update on how things are going, because it's always a pleasure, and I always enjoy having you.
Absolutely. Look forward to it.
Terrific. Mark, thank you for being here. Mihir, thank you so much. We will see you gentlemen next time.
Thank you very much.
Good to set it up, Chuck. Take care. Thanks for your time.
Folks, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is Mac Voices. We will be back with more soon. Until then, go check out DroboPix from Drobo and get yourself a Drobo. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes, links to subscribe, and to connect with Chuck on Twitter, Google+, Facebook, YouTube, Vimeo, SoundCloud, the Mac Voices blog, the Mac Voices Dispatch, our weekly newsletter, and on MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard that helps you do more with your Apple tech. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.